Hey everyone, and welcome to today's spine class. For spine class today, we are going to need a few different props. We're going to need a light to medium band. I'm using the red pull-up assistance bands. If you have the tubular bands, 10 to 30 pounds is going to be a sweet spot there. We need a low anchor point. So I will be using this kettlebell. You could use the leg of a couch. You could tie a knot in the band and hook it in a door. You could tie it to a kettlebell or dumbbell. Anything that you can find that'll hold roughly 50 pounds or more. And a seat. So three things: a light to medium band, a low anchor point below the knees, and a seat. Since today is a truncated class, is not a full hour, we are just gonna focus on all things spine. So lumbar, thoracic, and cervical spine. We're gonna load it in a bunch of different ways. A lot of rotation coming in class today, so get ready for that. Awesome. We're gonna start with our band on all fours. So I'm gonna take my pull-up assistance band, I'm gonna put one X in it, and I'm gonna wrap it around my back and put it into my hands. Okay, I'm gonna start by hooking it right underneath the shoulder blades. Then I'm gonna come onto all fours. I'm gonna press my spine into full flexion, which is the rounding position of the spine. This band here is going to act as a reminder not to move, or what I will call a block. Okay, this band is working as a thoracic block so that I can move just my lumbar spine. Okay, so one thing I don't want to see is a bunch of movement through this upper portion of the back where the band is losing tension. Okay, so the band is there to remind you to keep tension on it, pushing towards the ceiling. I'm going to cue through the pelvis. So the hands are stacked over the shoulders, or shoulders stacked over hands. And then I'm going to reach the butt back and I'm going to squeeze the lower back muscles, the erectors. I'm arching my lower back. Then I'm going to pull my pelvis towards my hands and my elbows, tucking into flexion and squeeze. That's one. We have 5. Suck the abs in, slowly reach the butt back towards the heels, squeeze the back muscles, and then pull the hips towards the hands and elbows, squeeze into flexion. That's 2. Continue rolling, abs sucking in and reaching back, pulling into flexion. 3, continuing on, reaching back, abs sucking in, and then pulling hips forward into flexion. 4, we have one more, driving hips back, and pulling hips in towards hands. Beautiful. And we're gonna lower this band and we're gonna sit on our heels. So if you cannot get into this position, maybe due to the knees or the ankles, if this position is not available for you to do thoracic block or thoracic segmentation, we can grab a seat and still use the band. So I can sit on my seat here, grab my knees with the band in my hands, and then I can perform the exact same thoracic segmentation, but from a seat here. The only difference is you don't have to close the knees and put the ankles in extension. So this is a great option. I'm going to perform on the ground though. I like them here better. I feel like I can get a little more intensity pushing. So I will go here, but if this isn't available, up on the seat for y'all. Hands on the ground or on the knees. I'm going to push the spine into a rounded position. Okay, if you're in the seat, it should feel like you're falling backward out of the seat. Okay, I'm going to squeeze my abs, suck my belly button into my spine, and then I'm going to lift the rib cage like I'm trying to shine my heart straight forward. I'm going to exhale, push back, drop the head, big rounding. We're going to go here. If you didn't take that first one with me, we're counting now. Abs sucking in, hold the abs, lifting rib cage forward, pulling thoracic spine into extension. We should feel a tightness in the mid back. If you feel that, you're doing it correctly. Pressing rib cage back behind us, dropping head. 1, abs sucking in, pushing into the band, pulling rib cage forward while keeping tension on the band. You should feel that mid back tightness. Pressing back, that's 2. Abs sucking in, hold, and pull rib cage forward. 3. Good, we've got 2 more. Abs sucking in, hold, pull rib cage forward, into extension of the spine, driving back. 4, we have 1 more. Abs sucking in, hold, pull rib cage forward, and drive back. Perfect. We're going to ditch the band and go into our cervical spine. So we're on all fours. We're going to start by pulling the chin into the throat like we're trying to make a double chin. Then I'm going to drop the chin to chest, and I'm going to look at my toes. From here, I'm going to keep the chin in my throat until I look at my hands, Then I'm going to lift the chin away from the throat, looking forward. That's 1. Pull the chin into throat, look at the hands. Continue dropping chin to look at the feet. Pulling chin into throat, looking at hands, continuing forward, looking straight ahead. 2. Chin comes into throat, dropping head, looking at feet. Beautiful. Pulling chin up, looking forward, and pulling head long. 4. 1 more. Pulling chin into throat, looking at those toes. And 1 last half here, looking up. Now we're going to go into our cervical spine seated. So we're going to grab a seat on the bench or chair, whatever you grabbed or used for class. Perfect. And we're going to go through the cervical spine car. We bring the chin down to chest. I scrape the chin along the collarbone over to the right side. I'm going to drop the right ear behind the shoulder. I look up towards the ceiling, pull the head long, rotate over to the left side. Chin comes to left shoulder. And I scrape down along the collarbone. That's 1. Let's continue on. Over to right side, squeeze, dropping right ear, lifting head tall, rotating over to left side. Chin comes to shoulder. Squeeze out a little more rotation of that left side. We're going to lengthen out the back of that neck. Chin comes to collarbone, and we scrape. We have 1 more this direction. Looking over right shoulder, pull the head long, looking back, rotating around. Chin comes to left shoulder, dropping down to collarbone, and we scrape other direction. Over to the left side, squeezing, dropping left ear behind the shoulder, pull the head long, rotating over to the right side. Chin comes to right shoulder, and we scrape along that collarbone. 2 more. Over to left side, we squeeze, we drop the ear behind the shoulder, pull head long, rotate to right side, get a little more rotation there. Good. 1 more rep. Deep breaths, keeping the shoulders away from the ears, continuing through the rotation. And we finish chin to chest. Perfect. Now we're going to go 3 seated spine cars. So the spine car is going to combine segmentation of the spine and rotation. The movement looks just like what we did in the cervical spine. It is the same structure. It's just a continuation, right? So I'm going to start by tucking my tailbone underneath the spine, sucking the belly button in, and then pulling the rib cage down to the abdomen. I'm in flexion. I'm going to rotate over to the right as much as I can. I'm going to squeeze out all of the juice in the spine. Big rotation to the right. I'm going to untuck the pelvis. I'm going to lift the rib cage to the ceiling, continue rotating right. You'll get a little more. And then slowly, getting as tall as you can, rotate to the left side. Once you rotate all the way to the left, we're going to start in the pelvis again by tucking the pelvis, pulling the rib cage down to the waist, and rotating left more. Good. We're going to continue rotating to the right side. We've got 2 more. Squeeze out all that right side juice. Get it, get it. Untuck pelvis, lifting rib cage. Stay rotated right. Making your way to the other side. Big squeeze. Tuck the hips. Pull the rib cage down. Squeeze into flexion. We have 1 more this direction. Rotating to the right. Big squeeze. Untuck hips. Lifting rib cage. Shining heart to ceiling. Rotating to the left. Pull as much as you can to the left and squeeze. Tucking pelvis. Rounding in the spine. And we come to neutral. We come up to center. Take a breath. Reset. And we're going to go the other direction. Tuck the pelvis. Rib cage pulls down to waistband. We're in spine flexion. Rotating over to that left side. Good squeeze. Untucking pelvis. Lifting heart to ceiling. Rotating over to the right side. Big squeeze to the right. Tucking pelvis. Pulling into flexion. And continue on to the left. Rotating big squeeze to the left. Get as much as you can. Untuck the pelvis. Lifting heart to ceiling. Rotating to the right side. Big squeeze to the right. Tucking pelvis. Pulling rib cage to waistband. That's 2. We have 1 more. Rotating to the left. Squeeze it out. Untuck the pelvis. Lifting rib cage to ceiling. Rotate all the way over to that right side. Big squeeze. Tucking hips. Pulling into flexion. And rest. Awesome. Really good. Now we're going to move into some of our banded work. I'm going to put my seat away. We will not need the seat again. And we are going to start hooking the band to the low anchor point. And we are going to be doing segmented sit-ups with a band assistance. Okay, so if you've taken the spine classes before, chances are you've maybe done this segmented sit-up. We're gonna be using the band today to slow down the reps and to increase the segmentation. So the band is gonna slow me down on the way to the ground. So waistband, low back, mid back, shoulder blades, head touches, and then we work it up. The head comes off. This is just a demo, shoulder blades pulling off, rib cage pulls off, moving up the lower spine, we squeeze. The band's pretty much gonna get loose here. Maybe it pulls you forward a little bit. You get all the way forward, and we're gonna work our way back, okay? So I'm actually gonna scoot a little bit further away. Cool thing is you get to pick the intensity. The further away you are from the band, the harder it will be. The whole point of the band is to focus more on the segmentation. So these should be just as hard as doing them without the band, okay? So I can do them without the band, get really nice core challenge. I want you to put that same intensity and focus in with it, okay? We're gonna go 10 reps straight through. Normally we'll take a rest at 5, not on this round, okay? We're going straight through 10 reps. I'm gonna heavily coach the first couple, and then I'm gonna start just guiding you through the rep, more through counting and small cues and less kind of barking, okay? Here we go. I've got my band, I'm up tall. We're gonna start by leaning forward, so I'm gonna pull the rib cage down to waistband, and then I'm gonna let the band pull my hands towards my feet. I get all the way forward. I'm gonna stay forward, and then I'm just gonna roll the waistband all the way down to the ground. So keeping the spine in flexion. As soon as that waistband hits, the lower back will hit, moving in through the mid. The shoulder blades are gonna make contact, the head comes down. We take a breath, and then we slowly move up. The head lifts first. Good, the shoulder blade, remember, slow and controlled. This is to get extra segmentation. Look, I have the band, but I'm still getting shake. My core is working really hard here. I get into that full forward flexion, and then I let the band pull me towards my toes. That's 1. Here we go, rolling back, staying forward in flexion. The waistband sets down first, then the lower back, moving into the base of the rib cage. The shoulder blades touch, and then the head comes down. Head lifts, shoulder blades lift, mid rib cage, lower rib cage clears, waistband still on, and we squeeze forward into flexion, letting that band pull us into forward fold. That's 2, making our way back. Finding a rhythm of breathing that feels comfortable. The waistband touches down, the lower back, the rib cage, the shoulder blades, the head. The head lifts, the shoulder blades lift, rib cage pulls off, lower back, waistband, stay forward, letting that band pull us 3, getting a nice stretch forward, and working our way back down. Once that waistband touches, it is game on. Boom, lower back, mid back, shoulder blades, and head. Taking that breath, head comes next, shoulder blades lifting, rib cage clearing, lower back's on, waistband's on, pulling all the way off into that flexion. We're halfway, that's 5. Working on down, piece by piece. Nice controlled segmentation all the way down, good. Taking a breath and working back up, head, shoulder blades, rib cage, lower back, squeezing on the front side of the abs, letting that band pull us forward. 6, we have 4. Finding that breath, staying with it, really nice control, allowing that band to help, working all the way down to the ground, good. Continuing on head, shoulders, rib cage, abs really tight. We're trying to shrink this front side the entire way through. That's 7. Good, working back, waistband touches down, lower back, mid back, upper, head lifts, shoulders lift, rib cage lifts, squeezing forward, 8, beautiful, last 2, here we go. Working down, still getting good breath in, waistband, mid back, upper back, head, shoulders like a slinky making its way up and down, all the way forward, still staying tight in the front side. 9, abs are getting fatigued here. 1 more rep, and then we're going to take a little break here. working all the way down to the ground. We finish once we come up from this rep. Head and shoulders, rib cage, waistband, and all the way forward. Whoo! Awesome. That is some serious segmentation and opening through the backside. Really enjoy that exercise. We're gonna move into a crunch with rotation. It's gonna take me just a second to get set up. This can be your recovery time, so grab a little drink. Not too much because we're working the core today and spine. You can use the same anchor point, but you are just gonna turn 90 degrees. I am gonna move mine so we've got a nice viewpoint, okay? Let's see, 1 second. Okay, so as you're chilling, catching your breath, I'm gonna demo this next exercise and then you'll take it with me. So I'm gonna lie down in what would look like a normal crunch position. Okay, the only difference is I've got the anchor point on the right side of me. Okay, so you need to change your orientation of your body to where that band is coming directly off the right side. Okay, my feet are bent. This is just the demo. And then I'm gonna push the hands up in front of the heart. Okay, so directly above the sternum and heart. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a a crunch, and I'm gonna pull rotation on the band. So I'm gonna go both directions even though it's on the right side. Okay, so I'm gonna do 5 in each direction. Looks like this. I pull the shoulder blades off, I start to rotate, I squeeze up and to the right side. It's not a full sit-up, just a crunch, and then slowly lower down. Then I'm gonna go to the right. So now I'm gonna have to let the band pull me, but fight to keep my pelvis on the ground. So I'm gonna push my left side of my pelvis. I'm gonna take my crunch, let the band pull, and then I'm gonna work it back down. It's a small movement, but it's very hard. I'm gonna pull into that crunch. I'm gonna get that rotation, and then I'm gonna bring it down. Good. So that's what it looks like. That was 1 rep. We go 1 to the right, 1 to the left, or to the left to the right, and we're gonna do 5 of them, and then we're gonna turn around. So all we're gonna need to do is flip a 180, and then we'll work the other side for 5. We'll get about a minute rest in between the 2 sides. Now, one bonus. If you want to do the full sit-up with this, you're welcome to. You might need something to anchor your feet down with because it's gonna be nice to be able to pull up, but it would look something like this. I'm gonna segment, I'm gonna sit up, and I'm gonna squeeze at the same time. I'm gonna lower down and unwind. Super hard. It will be a big help if you can anchor the feet down holding a dumbbell, a kettlebell, under the couch, something. I just left that portion out because I figured the setup might be a little challenging to get nailed down. Okay, we've got our crunches. Make sure you're set up. So band is on the right side. We are on our back. Feet are bent. We're gonna move to the left first and then the right. 1 rep is both sides. Here we go. We've got our band. The further our away, the harder it is. We push the hand up right above the sternum. Keep it there. We're gonna take the crunch. We pull the shoulder blades off. As soon as the shoulder blades pull, I'm gonna start rotating to the left and squeezing. I'm gonna get as high as I can, then I'm gonna unwind and lower. Now to the right side, we do our crunch. We let the band pull us to the right and then slowly lower down. Excuse my voice change there. I'm working hard. That's 1. We're gonna go to the left now. Squeeze to the left and crunch. Slowly lowering down. Squeeze to the right. Let the band pull you. And down, that's 2. We've got 3 more. Squeeze to the left. Rotate and piece by piece down again. Still trying to segment. We're rounding up piece by piece. The shoulder blade clears. We rotate and segment, lowering back down. Good. 3. We've got 2 more. Squeezing to the left. As much rotation as you can get. Lowering down, control. Over to the right. Let that band pull. Get the crunch. And back down. Good. That's 4. 1 more. Squeezing to the left. Whew. Back down. Last half. Over to the right. And lowering down. We're going to take a full minute here while we reset. Those are tough, man. I don't know if y'all felt it, but the middle of my abs are just burning. Okay. And all you need to do is turn a 180. So flip around and you should be completely ready to go. Whew. We're working in 30 seconds. So Anchoring the feet down is one way to be able to drive more power through the core. So even if you're just doing the crunch variation, not even if, that's what we're all doing, but when doing the crunch variation, if you can find something to anchor the feet down with, money, really nice. So like I could use this 40-pound dumbbell, and if I only have one of them, I could, squeeze the outside of it, okay? I can hook the toes underneath it. If I had two of them or my feet were really small, you can slide them under a couch, really anything like that. I might use them just since I have them. But if you don't have them, it is completely fine. Okay, here we go. We're gonna get set up here. Boom, I've got my band. I'm gonna push up over the heart. We're going 5 aside, and this is gonna be our last exercise of class here. We're gonna take that segmentation, we pull the shoulder blades off, we rotate to the right, and we squeeze. Yeah, I've got way more power with my feet anchored. If you can find it, that's really nice. Over to the left side, let the band pull you, rotate and crunch, back down. Good, that's 1 each. We're gonna squeeze to the right, rotate and sit up, or crunch, working back down, low, mid, upper. Good, over to the left, pulling shoulder blades off, rotating to the left, and back down. 2, taking a breath, over to the right, squeezing right side, as much rotation as you can get, lower, mid, and upper. Good, over to the left, let the band pull you, and working down. Beautiful, 3, over to the right, squeezing right, bringing it down, over to the left. Beautiful. Good, 4, 1 more, over to the right, squeezing right side, bringing it down, over to the left, letting that band pull, big sit up, and back down. Whew. That is some serious work. So a shorter class today, but way up there on the intensity. I hope you enjoyed that spine class, segmentation and rotation focus. Thanks for taking class today. I'll see you next time. Ciao.